Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we're going to install this Rugged Ridge light mount. Now what it'll allow you to do is either mount a light bar on it, or if you see there's 3 holes, so you can mount 3 round halogens on it, or even LED round lights. So if we go over here, I currently have mine just sitting on here, but I figured why not add the bar in? I got this for free from a friend and I really wanted to kind of try it out because he's got a full bumper now. What I'm going to be doing is a full bumper later. But for right now, just to lift it up a little bit off the bumper and kind of give it a nice look. It also raise it up to give you a little bit more front light, and you can actually access the directional keys better. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you want to see how I did this and you like that look without needing the bar, go right ahead and take a look. I've got videos up, just look up JEEP JK Ghostly Rich front bumper light bar. You're going to see these 2 little pop clips here. You're going to see that it takes a Phillips. Lightly undo that Phillips head right here, and while you're doing that, if you have a flat blade, you put it under the lip right here. If you feel it, you'll feel a lip, and then you use your Phillips screwdriver to unwind it ever so slightly. Believe it or not, the harder you push on that screw, the harder it is to back out. So the lighter you can unscrew that Phillips, the more chance it is of unscrewing. I hate these clips because they're so hard to get out, but first pop out this one and this one. So if I ever put this back in, I'm putting new clips in. These Phillips are just so garbagey. What I did is I broke the rim off by using a flat blade and prying up slowly around it, so that way this will now slip off like so. So the next thing I'm gonna do is probably just pop my hood, and then I'm gonna take my grill off. Now the good thing about the grill ones, they're just little mini flat top removers, so they're the really easy ones. So see, with all these top ones, all you have to do is get underneath there and just pop them up like so. Like I said, so much easier. And when you do that, just pop all the ones on the top, like so. And there's also ones right here, and there's one on the opposite side, just like so. And then now you're just gonna wiggle them out, and if they do that, all you do is you lift it, pull it out. Might do it on every single one of them. Perfect. So, after you've done that, put your clips off to the side, grab right here, pull forward. Go here, pull forward. There you go. Once this is leaning forward, you'll see these red clip, or this red clip here. This is a safety. Slide it back towards the plug, so it's like that. Once it slide, you can compress the clip, wiggle it, and slide them off. Do that on both sides. This clip's upside down, like it should be. Just like that. Grab this, lift it out of the way, and now that gives us way more room to get this out, just like so. And now we have full access to our mounting area where we're gonna mount that light bar. For the next part of this, you can see this is the tire, this is the front bumper. You're gonna see some more of those clips. You're gonna put a flat blade in here and just pull those down, and that'll loosen those clips. There will also be 2 of them on the inside here. See that? One right there, right here above my finger. There's one on each side. So take the 2 back ones out, and then take the whole front lip ones out. And I think there's like 5, just like the front, 5 or 6. But yeah, just take those off, and then we can get this rock deflector out of the way. So if you're up top and you feel down back here, you're going to feel 2 18-inch bolts right here, and there'll be 2 more on this side, 2 more on here, 2 more on here. So if you're looking at the inside of your bumper, see there's my tire. See those 2 bolts? Those are your first 2 18s. I've just loosened them. There's 2 right there in front of the pump. They can be a little bit fun. There's 2 more, and then there's 2 more on the other side of there, just like the other side. Once you loosen those, you can technically take it off. Now, if you're gonna be taking off your whole front bumper, make sure you disconnect your fog lights, and make sure all your wiring, if you have any wiring, that zap strap there, is all taken off. I'm gonna take off my light bar bolts here, and I'm gonna also undo my plugs on my fog lights, because I think I'm gonna take my bumper completely right off just to do this, to just get it out of the way. So as you can see, you have those Christmas tree style plug-ins. So all you do is you grab and wiggle and then pull them out. And as you can usually grab them with a pair of needle nose. They should still barb in, but if they don't, who really cares? I usually just find different ways to mount them. Like usually you can find some holes or some grooves and throw some zap ties in, and it usually cleans up a little better. But it's up to you, or you could just buy some more plug Christmas tree barbs and then go from there and zap strap that way. All completely up to you. I have my different lighting here because of my fog lights. So I've unplugged my fog lights. I have everything loose. As you can see, this is like this. So next thing to do is I can either try and just put that in, which would probably work, or you can just completely loosen off the last 4 bolts, or sorry, the 4 bolts on each side, and then take your bumper off and then do it that way. And that seems like the easiest. So I would start with the ones behind the pump, loosen those 2 off, loosen off the 2 insides, lean your stomach up against here, loosen off the last 2, loosen off those 2, pull off the shim, those shims there, those black shims, and then from there you should be able to just grab this and then wiggle it out. Wow, it feels weird seeing it this naked. So from this point, if I were you, I would just take a cloth or whatever and you can wipe off in here. I mean, who knows the next time you're gonna be back behind here. And then the next thing you would do is, of course, just grab either your new bumper and slip it on, or at this point, man, I almost should have just done my new bumper. But yeah, that should just go in here, or on the outside here, just like that. That one goes in on the outside, like so. And then all you're gonna do is, let's get down here. We're gonna line this up. Line them up on the bolt holes here, and then using the little window that's right here, let's see if I can show you. See that little window? You use your finger through there, or through the sides back here, or even through right here, and you'll hold the bolts in that come with your kit. So usually you got a washer and a nut. Let's see if I got a washer here. So just like this, and then you'll bolt that on nice and tight. So I'll get these 4 loosely in there and I'll show you. To get this top bolt in can be troublesome. What you do is you have a pair of monkey pliers like so, the big wide open 1 channel locks, and you put them in, you hold a bolt like this, you put the bolt in and you line it up with that hole. You might have to lean this forward just to get this in there. And what you do is, while you're holding the bolt inside with the channel locks on the other side of this, you take 1 bolt and 1 washer and you put it through that hole. So just do this. And then when you line up that bolt with the other one hand, you come in from this side and you screw it in. It's a little bit of a juggle work, but you can do it. The other way of doing it is with a pair of needle nose. Just do whatever you're comfortable with, or what you're more stable with. When you go to tighten that, I would use a box wrench. It's just, of course, a box wrench, you can't put the pressure on to hold that bolt while you're trying to tighten it in. I mean, you could try going in from the bottom from some weird angle, but I found the best way was just to hold it with a pair of channel locks, just thread it in loosely. And now that it's in there, I'm gonna put these all in loosely. Then I'll take a box wrench, put the box wrench in on the other side, and tighten these bolts and snug them up. Once you get both sides top bolts in, put your 18 mil on one side, go and tighten it up a little bit. That way it holds in this position. Now that you've got it like this, all you're gonna do is take your 18 mil, put this bolt nicely into it like so. See if I can do this on the first try here. That's not gonna come through here. But you're just gonna come through and slap that on there like so. And take a look at that. We got a threaded hole in there now. As you can see, got it all mounted up here. I've tightened it up now, leveled it with a level. Just put a level on the center, and then I then bolted this in once I knew it was level. First, of course, make sure it matches. Make sure your concrete that you're mounting on is level, otherwise, yeah, you'll have an angle. So other than that, it looks pretty good up on there for right now. I just quickly bolted my light bar on, which is just these two bolts. There's also two little, so these two mount it, and then there's two smaller bolts that sit right here, and those loosen off these slider brackets that slide beside it. You might have one of those bars that have the brackets that are on the sides. I specifically made sure I didn't buy those. I wanted ones that went in the grooves of the fins, so that way I could slide my mounts along the whole range of the bar. And these are Osram light bars that are from Oxbeam. They aren't that expensive and they're so bright. But yeah, so now that this is on and we've tightened on this is nice and sturdy. Moving the whole Jeep with it, which is nice. It goes right to the frame. Just double check your bolts. If you're wondering the torque, I gave her. I made sure these things were like, I put the 18 mil on that side and I cranked it. I made sure that these, I don't want these to back off. If you really are crazy about them, you could always, of course, use a little bit of blue Loctite on the nut, but that just makes it crazy to come out. So when these are going in, make sure that you look at it, it's like a T. Make sure it goes in like a T. Slide the brace on like that and then put the two bolts on the other side, but make sure that the T is facing up. So next part is to just clean up your wiring underneath after you bolt these on. What I always suggest to do is tighten them all, but don't like crank on them yet. Just tighten them up, and then after you've tightened every one of these bolts. Now with the corner ones here, like this one and this one, and not the inners but just the outers, I would suggest tightening them in halfway, because you're going to notice that bar is now halfway covering your bolts. So what you want to do is tighten that one halfway, tighten this one halfway, and then go to the other side, tighten those ones halfway, and then after you've done that, then tighten your inside ones halfway, and then proceed to crank them down. Start with this end, go to the next end, crank them down, and then over here do the insides, crank them down. And after you've cranked down all the inside ones and all the outside bolts, from that point we can start putting back together, like put the grill back on, put the other stuff back on. Now, if you're at this point and you haven't wired a light bar yet, if you want to learn how to wire a light bar up to this point, go ahead and watch my how to wire a front light bar video. That will show you everything you need to know for wiring it up. From this point, I'm just gonna put trim back together and I'll show you what the end result looks like. If you want to keep the this piece in, what I would suggest you do is measure 4 inches out, and then if you cut right here, you should be able to fit this within the inside of it, and it just kind of keeps the insides of that from getting too wet, I guess, and blocks it. It's up to you if you want to do this. I'm kind of just saying, why not show you guys? So I've measured 4 inches out from right here, put a piece of tape 4 inches out, and I'm just going to take a saw and quickly cut those. First time using this little Dremel thing, and it was actually really cool. Just side to side, and it seemed to have cut it just fine. So I'm just gonna chisel and clean it up a little bit on the edges, and as you can see, it should fit between our pieces now. Let's take a final inspection. So I just slightly put the grill up there for now, and then I just slipped it in from the top of the light bar and down and in, and look, it fits in here. It blocks your electronics if you want it to do so, and covers up all the wiring there. I'll be able to zap strap this and clean this up a little bit. I have to free up a little bit of slack, but yeah. And then now that that's down there, this squeezes down. Now, just a little warning that it does fit a little tighter in here afterwards when it comes to fitting in your grill. So just be gentle when you're bringing it down and make sure, because look at the gap you have in here. It's not that big. So one thing you could do is you could try and you could loosen those 2 bolts and then crank this over a little bit this way like that. So that way when you have the utmost room there for getting this grill in, because that's going to be the only annoying part. Of course, the long way is to unbolt the whole rail to get the grill out, but I was able to get it in and out being very careful. So just do that, slide it in there. And then for these 2 big holes, I'm probably just gonna go buy some clips tomorrow. As you know, I broke mine out because I hate those Phillips ones. I would just go to your auto store and get some of those big ones. I'm gonna see which size fits best, and I'm gonna just fit 2 new ones in there because, and that's if you're keeping that piece of plastic. If you're not, then you don't need to do that. But I just hate those Phillips ones because they strip out so easily. So up top, I just put one here for now, one here, one here, and one here, and I left these 2 empty, and I put those in that piece for now. I'll pick up 2 more clips tomorrow. Like I said, they're stupid cheap. I think you get like for like $1 you get a bunch. I can't remember, but either way, it's still holding on there sturdy, so I'm not even worried. Like, even if I had to order them from Amazon or something for a cheaper deal, then I'll probably just do that. But yeah, grill's on, that's on. Now all that's left is to put on the bottom carriage, but that looks pretty sleek. I like it. So all in all, not bad for removing the bumper, putting it back on. That's what the rugged ridge piece there looks like. Kinda is nice keeping it up off the bumper. 1, for cleaning, and 2, it's gonna bring the light dispersion a little up without aiming it up. Now it's still pretty straightforward, and it's a little higher, keeps it up, kinda cool. And if I really wanted to, I could put another one right underneath it and have dual light bars in front, if I really wanted to. We'll see. Anyways, that's how easy it is to quickly remove the bumper, to be able to install any bumper modification, or maybe even switch out your bumper, whatever you're trying to do. So that was the front bumper, and thanks again for watching. Like the video if it helped you out, and subscribe for more.